I wouldn't fight him the way they fought him.
How
It's just
would you
hard
fight
difficult
him?
to fight him. I would be mean. I would be dirty because you would have to do everything to fight him because he's just so good. You can't fight. It's almost impossible to fight him clean. It's almost impossible to win.
Well, Canelo.
That's the credit on how masterful he is. You have to be dirty. You got to be rough. You have to use the elbows, head, bending up. You have to use everything. This guy, as far as his style is concerned, this guy is a master fighter.
This is like the bear. What's Teo gonna do? Is he gonna punch him in the hands? That's the play. Oh my God, that's the play. Okay, Teo is gonna punch Shakur in his brittle hands. That's what he's gonna do, right? He's gonna punch him. He's gonna meet his knuckles with his knuckles. Shakur's gonna flick out a jab, and Teo's gonna come with a cross to meet the right-handed jab of Shakur. Break his hand. There it is. That's the goal, dude. 1,000 IQ, 2,000 IQ, Teo.
I'll be there. You'll be there? Yeah. Oh, nice. Okay, cool. So I get to see your live reaction when I take your money.
Little bro walking away with that. You gonna see.
Nah, Shakur is not to be with, but Teo's good.
Teo's good for what he do, but he's been washed.
Nah, come on.
He's getting washed.
I see it playing out, let's say, I see it starting off slow.
Okay.
And then I see as Shakur wins the first round, as Shakur wins the second round, slowly, I think Teo is going to eventually start picking it up and start imposing his will.
Right.
And then, it's just going to go from there. That's how I think it's going to go.
That's a fair assessment. That's a fair one. Especially for that to be his brother.
Yeah, I think it can be competitive. Teo is real gifted. Shakur is real defensive. And, I feel like when a fighter is super defensive, it can play against you also, because if you go in there trying to be really defensive, it can play against you. But Shakur's a high-level boxer, and Teo ain't on Shakur level. Teo know that, and like I told Teo when I see him, I said it's different. He told me that me and Shakur is used to each other. That's why I feel like it's different. He said Shakur not used to him. So in 2 weeks, we'll see.
Brace yourself, fight fans, as boxing legends just dropped their final predictions, and they're warning that the Shakur Stevenson versus Teofimo Lopez fight could end brutally. At first, the odds seem to favor Shakur Stevenson, but boxing experts have flipped the script. Many are highlighting the precise mistakes both fighters are making, errors that could be fully exploited on fight night. On top of that, Tim Bradley has delivered a stark warning to Shakur, revealing what he believes will be Teofimo Lopez's secret technique to try and gain the upper hand in this high-stakes matchup.
Hey, everybody trying to figure out what this foul or punch that's illegal or something from Teofimo Lopez. I'm hearing from headbutts to elbows and all kind of stuff. Man, nah, y'all want to know what it is? I'm gonna tell you what it is. It's basically a kidney shot. That's what he's talking about. Shakur goes up into that what do you call that? Floyd Mayweather type of defense. Yeah, the shoulder roll. Yeah, he turns his back. Yeah, that left hook to the liver. That's what Teofimo gonna be looking for. Yeah, but he's gonna hit his ass in the back.
As the hype around this showdown continues to build, fans are split, many expecting a knockout from either fighter. But Tim Bradley sees it differently. According to him, neither Shakur Stevenson nor Teofimo Lopez carry the kind of one-punch power to finish the fight early. Instead, Bradley predicts a battle of skill and strategy, a matchup that will unfold round by round, testing endurance, precision, and tactics. A fight that will likely go the distance rather than end in a dramatic knockout.
That the Lopez and the Lopez and Shakur fight going the distance. Ain't no damn way it's gonna be a knockout. Either or. It ain't gonna be when was the last time Teofimo Lopez knocked somebody out? And Shakur ain't no knockout puncher either. I don't see it, man. Now, statistically, I think it's gonna be a distance fight. Yeah. So don't wait. I'm gonna tell you, don't waste your money. That's like me wasting my money on Jake Paul. I didn't bet on no damn Jake Paul. I just like trolling, man.
Even at this level, both fighters bring elite skills to the ring, making this one of the most intriguing matchups in recent memory. According to Wade Plemons, Teofimo Lopez holds subtle but important advantages over Shakur Stevenson. While Shakur shines as a defensive technician, Teofimo is the more versatile fighter, dangerous both offensively and as a counterpuncher. Plemons highlights potential targets, like Shakur's hand issues, and predicts that Teofimo's strategy will be to draw Shakur into exchanges, turning the fight into a tactical chess match where every move could decide the outcome.
We don't get like a defensive standoff where we're both feinting and no one wants to take the lead foot and both guys want to play counterpuncher. I think that Teo can do both better than Shakur can do both. I think Shakur is probably the better defensive to offensive fighter. I think Teo could probably switch between styles a little better, but if you wanted to take advantage of one's weakness, you would want Teo to try to get Shakur to walk to him. I just don't think it's going to happen. Point being, Teo thinks that Shakur's style of fighting and potentially his hands, I assume, maybe have something to do with that. Like Shakur does have some hand problems. Coming up in weight, if you can't hurt the guys that are bigger than you, and Teo's not like a big 140-pounder, and you look at them standing next to each other, Shakur looks like the bigger guy. But if you can't hurt those guys, and they're good enough skill-wise to hit you, the power's different, the weight is different.
Breaking down Teofimo Lopez's boxing skills, Wade Plemons notes that whether he's on the front foot or the back foot, Teofimo clearly outclasses Shakur Stevenson in these exchanges. He warns fans who expect Shakur to simply step in and sauce it up. That strategy won't be enough. Plemons believes Teofimo can dictate the pace, impress the judges, and seamlessly switch between offense and defense, while Shakur remains cautious. In his prediction, Teofimo has more ways to secure victory than Shakur, making him the fighter with the strategic edge in this matchup.
Because Teo's not a big 140-pounder, but I do think Teo's boxing ability on the front foot, on the back foot, is going to surprise people in this fight. If they just think Shakur is going to come in and sauce up Teo and that's going to be it, I think people are in for a rude awakening. I think Teofimo Lopez, if you didn't already know, by the fact that he's got a better resume than Shakur, and he's the bigger, quote-unquote, bigger fighter, I think he's going to give a boxing display that's going to be on par with Shakur, and I think it'll come down mostly to who implements game plan better in terms of can Teo get Shakur out of his comfort zone on the front foot and then counter him, or can Shakur do what he does defensively, evade, attack off his back foot, and if that is the case, can Teo sway the judges by being on his front foot and controlling the fight more? That's the way I think most avenues of this fight go.
Highlighting a key factor many are overlooking, Showbiz the Adult weighs in on what he sees as the biggest misconception in the Stevenson versus Lopez matchup. He believes Shakur will need to do much more offensively, landing consistent combinations and accumulating clean shots to secure a win. While Shakur is an elite defensive fighter, Showbiz warns that defense alone won't be enough. Drawing a comparison to William Skull versus Canelo Alvarez, he notes that champions rarely lose these battles, and with Teofimo holding the title, Shakur has far more at stake.
Philly Shell Stevenson, Teo won't land clean, Biz. If Shakur doesn't want him to land clean, he won't. But here's the thing. That means he's gonna have to put defense first, and he may not land clean on Teo. This is what y'all gotta understand. Is Shakur gotta land punches too consistently to compile enough punches and enough rounds to win the fight. Y'all have to understand that too. The point of my sparring, the video breakdown, was Shakur gotta land on him, and not once or twice. He gotta land on him consistently and often enough to compile rounds to beat the 140-pound champion. That's why William Skull didn't beat Canelo. Canelo was the champion. William Skull couldn't pop and beat Canelo.
Analyzing Teofimo Lopez's face-off comments, Showbiz the Adult believes Teofimo's strategy is clear. He plans to engage Shakur without breaking the rules, but will push the limits with borderline tactics. At the same time, Showbiz warns that history shows this approach is risky and not foolproof. Referencing Mike Tyson, he underscores just how skilled Shakur Stevenson is, making it extremely difficult for Teofimo to succeed with dirty tactics. Tyson's insight adds a reality check, a warning that Teofimo's pre-fight antics could easily backfire on fight night.
Hell no, that's not the first time I heard that. With someone like Shakur Stevenson, who is technically sound, extremely gifted, he's just one of those guys you cannot beat in a fundamental way. I heard that concept from an icon, the all-time great Iron Mike Tyson.
But I wouldn't fight him the way they fought him. It's just hard to fight him. I would be mean. I would be dirty because you would have to do everything to fight him because he's just so good. You can't fight. It's almost impossible to fight him clean. It's almost impossible to win. Canelo. That's the credit on how masterful he is. You have to be dirty. You got to be rough. You have to use elbows, head, bending up. You have to use everything. Because this guy, as far as his style is concerned, this guy is a master fighter.
This is like the bear.
Showbiz the Adult emphasizes that for Teofimo Lopez to outbox Shakur Stevenson over 12 rounds, he'll need more than just punches. Teofimo must frustrate Shakur, create openings, and mix clever borderline tactics with precise boxing. In Showbiz's view, Shakur is one of the most technically sound fighters of all time, and he can't be beaten by dirty tricks alone. To pull off a victory, Teofimo must balance aggression with skill. Anything less, and the path to winning becomes far too long and challenging.
I gotta frustrate him. I gotta fight the guy. If I try to just, for 12 rounds, out-technical that guy, I gotta do a lot of things. Maybe a mixture of them things. Be dirty, right? You irritate, kind of like Bernard Hopkins. B-Hop, love you, boy. He was good for that. Do those borderline things, and then start outboxing. Get you out your game, get in your head, and then start outboxing. Using the athleticism, the power, and all those things, and probably try to catch Shakur. But Teofimo, it seems to me that he's like, I cannot fight this guy when he's tight and on his game. I got to have him I got to create flaws for him. Kind of like Zapata when he caught.
Meanwhile, Floyd Mayweather didn't hold back on Teofimo Lopez, leaving boxing fans stunned with his comments on Shakur Stevenson. Speaking about Stevenson's power and overall skill, Mayweather issued a pointed warning to Teofimo. Ranking his top fighters, he placed Stevenson above Lopez, highlighting that it's not just raw punching power that matters. Stevenson's technical mastery gives him a clear edge. According to Mayweather, that skill advantage could be the deciding factor when these two collide inside the ring.
Floyd, when you think about the fighters who are fighting now, can you give me your 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 when it comes to the lightweight? Who you would put where?
As of right now, the two guys, the biggest puncher, I feel at the 135 will probably be Gervonta Tank Davis. But the most skillful fighter at 135 will be hands down Shakur Stevenson.
Floyd Mayweather praised Shakur Stevenson's elite skills, making it clear that he expects Stevenson to give Teofimo Lopez major trouble. Mayweather believes that Stevenson's technical mastery and sharp boxing IQ will allow him to outbox Lopez and take control of the fight, regardless of Teofimo's strength. In his view, Stevenson holds the clear advantage, with precision, technique, and timing that could ultimately decide the outcome when these two face off in the ring.
What is it about him? Because I know you have a lot of good attributes, but do you think he has enough power to sustain?
Well, it's really all about skills. Pernell Whitaker wasn't a huge puncher, but he was, very exciting, very tough, and he fought everybody. Shakur is trying to do the same thing.
Sean Porter, one of Shakur Stevenson's strongest supporters, has issued a stark warning ahead of this matchup. He believes that at his peak, Shakur is nearly unbeatable. However, Porter notes that in his fight against Zapata, Shakur spent too much time running and occasionally left himself open in the pocket. Against a fighter as explosive and unpredictable as Teofimo Lopez, that strategy won't be enough. Teofimo's power and unorthodox style make him a serious threat, and Stevenson will need to adjust if he wants to secure victory.
Shakur gonna always be Shakur. The offense that we saw from him in his last fight was just, he knew what he had in front of him, and eventually he knew that he was going to be in a position where he could have his way with the kid who was in the ring. I'm losing his name off the top of my head.
Right, I know you're talking about. But I believe he that way because he started hearing all the call of him running. He started saying, you know what? Let me stay in the pocket, because he stood in the pocket a lot more than he normally stood in the pocket with that fight. You know what I'm saying?
It took some unnecessary shots.
Huh?
It took unnecessary shots.
Well, okay, right. Mm-hmm. But you see what kind of fan base he got after that too. The doubters started saying, you know what? I'm gonna roll with him more, because we were getting tired of him running and skillfully beating people.
Sean Porter highlights that Teofimo Lopez's twitchy, explosive athleticism makes him unpredictable and a real challenge for Shakur Stevenson. Porter breaks down how he expects the fight to play out, analyzing Shakur's potential reactions and Teofimo's game plan. He believes Teofimo may have more paths to victory than Shakur in this matchup. Still, Shakur's near-flawless defense continues to impress, keeping fans and analysts glued to every move and reminding everyone why he's considered one of boxing's most elite athletes today.
He finds his moments and then he turns it on. The difference is when he turns it on, is he's delivered that power to a point where
Right.
we actually sit back and we, all right, let's be, all right, round after round, like, all right, he's losing these rounds. He knows he's losing these rounds, but let's just wait on it. And then eventually comes the big kaboom.
Well, that's what we want to see, man. We want to see kabooms. Okay?
Last thing I'm gonna say on this fight, though, I think there's more avenues to victory for Teofimo Lopez than there is for Shakur.
I agree.
Because Shakur is so set in who he is, and I absolutely love it, straight up and down. But it's gonna be so hard to pull him out of who he is. And the other side of that is Teofimo can go the defensive route. He can go to force you to at least walk towards him.
Giving a reality check, Eddie Hearn believes this fight will come down to who controls the action early and sets the pace from the opening rounds, relying on smart pressure rather than reckless aggression. He predicts a disciplined chess match where neither Shakur Stevenson nor Teofimo Lopez will chase explosive moments, instead depending on precise technique, timing, footwork, and ring IQ. With two elite athletes in the ring, it's a battle of patience, composure, and endurance. And over 12 rounds, the winner will be the one who adapts best and imposes their strategy.
I think it's a fight that could be a little bit of a chess match early on. You know, you've got two guys that are very reactive, two guys that are super sharp, two guys that like to feint and set traps, and two guys with tremendous boxing IQ and footwork. So generally that lends itself to a fight that's going to be quite nip and tuck and a little bit of a chess match early on. I think the fight could be won maybe by the person that takes the fight by the scruff of the neck. You know, sometimes in those kind of fights, it can be a very close fight with very close rounds. Neither fighter will want to be reckless. Neither fighter will want to make mistakes because they know they'll get punished. But sometimes you have to take the fight by the scruff of the neck in a fight like that.
Eddie Hearn issues a reality check ahead of this showdown, predicting the fight will be decided by who seizes control early and sets the pace from the opening bell. Rather than chasing explosive shots, both Shakur Stevenson and Teofimo Lopez will rely on smart pressure, sharp technique, timing, footwork, and ring IQ. With two elite athletes in the ring, it becomes a test of patience, composure, and endurance. Over 12 rounds, the fighter who adapts quickest and executes their strategy most effectively will walk away with victory.
Good question. Look, for Shakur, I think Shakur is massively underrated in terms of his achievements and his ability. Everyone in boxing knows how good Shakur is. He is pound for pound, top 5 in terms of quality. But look at the achievements of the young man. At 28 years of age, he's already a 3-division world champion. This is to become a 4-division world champion. Quite remarkable. And Teofimo always rises to the occasion. Sometimes you see a little bit of a lackluster performance when he's not motivated, when there isn't kind of any legacy on the line. This is different. This is a sold-out Madison Square Garden between two of the elite fighters of our generation. And the best thing about this fight is we're seeing them in their prime.
As the stakes continue to rise, TV personality Demetria Obalor weighs in, noting that Shakur Stevenson enters the fight as the favorite against a pressure-driven, brawl-oriented fighter like Teofimo Lopez. Drawing lessons from Stevenson's bout with William Zepeda, she points out that his defensive and counterpunching style is reminiscent of Floyd Mayweather, and fans can expect to see that again. Obalor also highlights how Teofimo could make an impact by executing a smart strategy to manage Stevenson's pressure while imposing his own game plan inside the ring.
Shakur Stevenson versus Teofimo Lopez, who you got? And off the rip, Shakur is a -340 favorite, and being the tactical general he is in the ring, you can already see why. I mean, and he's going up against Teo, who for me is a real brawl artist. You gotta give it to Teofimo. He has got a lot of heart, and he really shines in the exchanges against opponents, just willing to let those hands go, and that's another reason why you gotta love him. But Shakur is more slippery than that, okay? He uses that back foot to control the ring, and if Teo wants to make his presence known, if he wants to be felt, he's gotta cut the ring, attempt to control the pacing. And even so, we saw Zepeda coming at Shakur last summer with pressure. He wouldn't stop, lots of volume, and what did we get from that fight? Supreme defense kicking in. People were comparing Shakur to Mayweather with those shoulder rolls, right? Accurate counterpunching, all of what we've come to expect from Shakur, and I do think we're going to see some great exchanges.
At the same time, Demetria Obalor highlights what Teofimo Lopez brings to the table, noting his ability to excel when closing the distance, especially against opponents forced onto the back foot, much like he did against Sandor Martin. While that fight came with its challenges, Lopez showed he can effectively bridge the gap. Still, she emphasizes one key point. Shakur Stevenson's skill level is on another tier, and with the added edge of training alongside Bud Crawford, he's entering this fight with new tools and strategies ready to test Teofimo like never before.
Some people a little bearish on the fight, thinking because of the clash of styles here, we're going to see something similar to what we saw a few years ago when it was Shakur versus De Los Santos. Absolute snooze fest. I disagree. Teo has proven that he can close distance when opponents are on the back foot, and we saw that against Sandor Martin, although it did cost him at times. One knockdown, another moment that kind of looked like a knockdown, but it wasn't counted. But Shakur is better than Martin. And I mean, Shakur's been in camp with Bud Crawford, and training with him. That's a scary thought for anyone standing across from him. Now, for boxing purists, this is absolutely a fight you gotta see. I'm really excited for this one, and I want to know what you guys think. Who walks away with the dub? Are you team Shakur or are you team Teo? Let me know in the comments.
As the MSG showdown draws near, boxing legend Roy Jones Jr. shared his expert take on the Teofimo Lopez versus Shakur Stevenson matchup. He warned that Lopez can't play it safe if he wants to win. Sitting back and boxing from the outside would let Stevenson use his elite footwork and defensive skills to pick him apart. Jones Jr. believes Lopez must take calculated risks, stay aggressive, and push Stevenson out of his comfort zone. Executed correctly, this approach could turn the fight into a high-stakes, explosive battle from start to finish.
Stylistically, man, how does Shakur beat Teo and vice versa? Stylistically, how does Teo beat Shakur?
Stylistically, Teo got to go in and go for broke. He got to go gamble. He got to take some, get some, and that's just the only way to win. If he stays outside the boxes, Shakur gonna pick him apart. Shakur's a polished boxer with some of the best speed in the game right now, and he's a defensive-minded fighter, which is very smart. It's hard to hit him. He makes you gamble to hit him, and he's gonna be a tough one to deal with. But if Teofimo is willing to gamble to beat him, then Teofimo can definitely make it a really good fight.
Adding more perspective to the Teofimo Lopez versus Shakur Stevenson showdown, renowned trainer Abel Sanchez offered a bold prediction. He believes Lopez must start aggressively and attack from the opening bell, warning that anything less could make the fight slow and uneventful. At the same time, Sanchez notes that Stevenson will need to maintain distance and stay cautious, as Lopez's explosive power can change the momentum in an instant. This clash of styles, he says, is exactly what could make this matchup an electrifying spectacle for fans.
Shakur's a great talent, and Teofimo looked great in his last fight. Of course, he didn't have Shakur in front of him, but I think that for Shakur, he has to keep the fight at his distance. If he does that, I think it's a win for him. Teofimo, he's more, he wants to draw you and he wants to counter punch. He's gonna have to be a different guy this time. He's gonna have to attack. He's gonna have to be leading the fight, or else it's gonna be a boring fight. I don't think it'll be a boring fight, but if he sits back and waits for Shakur, Shakur's gonna wait for him. It's not gonna be exciting. But I think Teofimo will attack. I think Teofimo has to attack. I think Teofimo has to do what Zepeda did, except for Teofimo's a lot more talented than Zepeda was.
Sanchez added that while he expects an exciting fight, fans should be prepared for the possibility of a draw. Despite Lopez's explosiveness and Stevenson's technical mastery, he believes the two fighters are so evenly matched that neither may fully impose their will. This could result in a split or shared decision. His prediction adds another layer of intrigue to an already must-watch showdown, keeping fans on the edge of their seats and underscoring just how evenly balanced this matchup truly is.
So I think that I honestly, I see a draw. I don't know why I see a draw, but I just see them both having great rounds and giving us the kind of fight that I think the public is looking for.
Gary Russell Jr. has also shared his insight, outlining the game plan Teofimo Lopez needs to follow to succeed. He believes that if Teofimo can consistently make Shakur come forward only to run into well-timed counters, judges will take notice of the clean combinations, swinging the fight in Lopez's favor. Russell stresses that Teofimo should focus on controlled precision rather than chaos, the same disciplined approach he used to outbox Lomachenko. Executed properly, Russell predicts this strategy could position Teofimo for victory.
Physically, you're touching him more than he's touching you. The judges and pay attention to that. You know, he can push Shakur on the back foot and make Shakur fight defensively depending on his attacks. It has to be, like I say, he got to do it in spurts. Take them first half rounds. When he fought Lomachenko, if he fights Shakur the way that he fought Lomachenko, that would somewhat poke holes in Shakur's game as far as allowing him to dictate the ring, dictate the revenue of the ring. You know, he'd have to mash the gas, like I say, in spurts.
At the same time, Gary Russell Jr. issues a sharp warning to Teofimo Lopez: don't get stuck on the back foot. He needs to stay active, moving in front of Shakur Stevenson, because lingering passively would allow Shakur to capitalize on his precise combinations and ring IQ. That said, Russell believes Teofimo has the power and skill to hurt Shakur, a threat Shakur doesn't carry. If Teofimo sticks to his game plan and uses this advantage wisely, it could prove decisive in his favor.
Make him question when he punches. And another thing, he has the ability to hurt Shakur too. I don't believe Shakur has the ability to hurt him. You know, but Shakur it could be a long motherfucking night too, because if Gordo goes out there, Teofimo Lopez goes out there, and he don't mash the gas and he want to sit on his back foot and wait and try to bullshit around, Shakur going pot shot his ass all the way through. It's going to be a long night. All 12 is going to be a long night.
As the conversation heats up, renowned coach Joel Diaz shares his take, leaning in favor of Shakur Stevenson. He predicts Teofimo Lopez may try to push for early exchanges, calling it a boring fight as both fighters are likely to adopt a defensive approach. While Diaz admits Teofimo has the fire to initiate action, he warns that Shakur's quick movement and elite defensive skills will make it extremely difficult for Lopez to execute his game plan effectively, keeping Stevenson in control throughout the bout.
Teofimo, Shakur, I think Shakur. I like Shakur stylistically, you know. Teofimo is a tough fighter as well, but it's gonna be a boring fight, honestly. It's gonna be a chess game because they're both smart fighters. They're very technical, and they're gonna be very defensive to the whole fight, you know.
And there you have it. The final predictions are in, with boxing legends and experts weighing every angle of this epic showdown. Teofimo Lopez versus Shakur Stevenson promises to be a tactical war full of skill, strategy, and explosive moments. Now it's your turn. Who do you think will walk out victorious? Drop your predictions in the comments below. Hit like if you enjoyed the breakdown, subscribe, and ring the bell so you don't miss a single update on this fight of the year.